Power of assumption. Your reality is shaped by the assumptions you hold. To manifest wealth, you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and believe your desires are already true. Transcend current reality. Your current circumstances are the effects of past assumptions. Ignore them and focus on creating a new reality in your imagination. Imagination is key. Visualize yourself living the life you desire with vivid emotions. This creative act in your imagination begins the process of materializing wealth. Faith in the unseen. Act as though your desires are already fulfilled, even when external evidence hasn't manifested yet. Trust in the unseen reality and have faith in your inner conviction. Self-concept. See yourself as the person you wish to be, someone who is already wealthy. Align your thoughts, speech, and actions with his wealthy identity to attract your desires. This extraction summarizes the core teachings on the law of assumption and its practical application for manifesting wealth. The power of assumption is the cornerstone of manifesting anything you desire in your life, including wealth. At its core, the law of assumption teaches that your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality. If you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are creating a vibration within you that will eventually manifest as your external reality. And the more you assume the proper feeling to shape this visualization previously fulfilled, you'll achieve the vibration that the wish you have estimated for the wish. The assumption itself becomes the seed from which your desires grow. The law of assumption holds that everything in your life, whether it's your wealth, relationships, or health, is the result of your assumptions. Beliefs you hold to be true about yourself and the world around you. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you must first believe that your desired reality is already. The moment you assume that you're wealthy, your mind begins to rearrange itself to align with that belief. This doesn't mean that the external world changes immediately, but internally, your mind starts to shift its focus toward the image of wealth. This internal shift leads to changes in your actions, decisions, and responses to external circumstances. When you assume something is true, your subconscious mind accepts it and begins to work towards its manifestation, even if there is no immediate evidence of it in your physical world. The real secret to this process is feeling. You can think all day long about your desire, but if you don't embody the emotional feeling of having it now, it won't materialize. Picture yourself in the lifestyle you want, feeling the emotions as if it is happening today. Let the joy, satisfaction, and excitement of being wealthy take over your thoughts. Your imagination becomes the creative force that transforms these emotions into tangible results. As you assume your wealth, you may be tempted to look at your current circumstances, such as your bank account balance or your job, and question how anything could change. But here's where the power of assumption truly shines. You must ignore the reality you see. The world around you is simply a reflection of the assumptions you held in the past, and therefore it is not a fixed reality. It is temporary and it can change. Your current circumstances are just a snapshot of the past. If you focus on them, you will continue to receive more of the same. But if you shift your focus to the assumption of wealth, the universe will start to reflect that. Every time you doubt your assumptions, you are strengthening the old reality. But by persistently assuming the state of wealth, you begin to break down the old patterns and replace them with new, empowering ones. You must have faith in the unseen. True faith is not based on what your physical senses tell you, but on what you know to be true in your mind and heart. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are essentially saying to yourself, I know this is true, even if I can't see it yet. Faith in the unseen requires you to trust that what you are assuming is already on its way. It's like planting a seed in the ground. Just because you don't see the sprout immediately doesn't mean the seed isn't growing beneath the surface. The same goes for your wealth. Your assumption, your inner conviction that wealth is yours, will work its way through the layers of your consciousness, creating new circumstances that will eventually manifest in your life. The beauty of assumption is that you don't need to know how the wealth will come to you. The universe has countless ways to deliver your desires. And it's not your job to figure out the logistics. Your job is simply to assume and feel that it's already here. Let go of the need to control the details and trust that the law of assumption will handle the how. When you assume the reality of your desires, you align yourself with the flow of abundance. You begin to take actions that are in harmony with your assumption. Instead of worrying about how to make money, you become a magnet for opportunities and ideas that draw wealth to you. People, circumstances, and events will start to align with your belief, and opportunities that once seemed impossible will appear before you. The true power of assumption lies in its ability to shift your internal state. Once you feel wealthy, once you have assumed that wealth is already yours, you begin to act, think, and speak like a wealthy person. You will make different decisions, take different actions, and carry a different energy about you. This shift in energy will create new opportunities, and soon enough, the outer world will mirror your inner assumptions, push you to that higher frequency, and make your outer frequencies push you to that plus. In essence, to manifest wealth using the law of assumption, you must become the embodiment of your desire. Assume that you are already living the life of abundance, and trust that your internal state will create the external world you wish to see. By assuming wealth, you activate the law of assumption and bring your desires into reality, one belief at a time. The wealth you seek is already within you, waiting to be acknowledged and brought into your experience. The moment you assume it, you will start to see it unfold before you. To manifest wealth using the law of assumption, it's essential to transcend your current reality. This idea can be difficult for many because it requires ignoring the evidence of what the physical world presents. Most people are conditioned to look at their present circumstances, whether it's their bank account balance, their job, or their overall situation, and allow that to dictate how they feel and what they believe about their future. However, in order to change your reality, you must first detach from the limitations of what you see. This is a crucial aspect of the law of assumption. To create a new reality, you must stop accepting the old one as your truth. When you look at your current reality, what you are actually seeing is the result of past assumptions. Every situation, person, and condition in your life is a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you held in the past. In other words, everything in your life right now is just a snapshot of the beliefs you once held. This means your current circumstances are not set in stone. They can change at any moment, as long as you change the assumptions you hold. The reality is fluid and responsive to the power of your assumptions. If you want to manifest wealth, you must ignore the reality you see today and create a new mental and emotional state that reflects the life you wish to live. If you continue to focus on what is currently in your bank account or the job you have now, you will only continue to reinforce the lack of wealth. But when you focus on assuming that you are already wealthy, the external world will begin to shift and reflect that assumption. The act of transcending current reality does not mean pretending that your external world doesn't exist. It means that you refuse to allow your present circumstances to dictate your future. Instead of looking at the world and letting it define what is possible for you, you begin to define what is possible through your inner assumptions. The moment you choose to believe that you are worthy of wealth and assume that you already have it, your internal reality begins to rearrange itself to align with your new belief. This is where the power of assumption lies. When you believe something with conviction, it begins to manifest. In order to transcend your present reality, it's necessary to develop the discipline to focus on your mental and emotional state. Rather, this can be difficult, especially if your current circumstances seem overwhelmingly negative. However, the key to creating change is to ignore the external world and immerse yourself in the feeling of your desired state of being. If you want to be wealthy, start living in the assumption that you already are. Imagine yourself experiencing all the things that come with wealth, the freedom, the opportunities, the luxurious lifestyle, and allow yourself to feel that as though it is happening right now. By consistently focusing on this assumption, you are slowly but surely reprogramming your mind to expect wealth, abundance, and prosperity. Your mind will begin to seek out opportunities that align with this new reality, and over time, the world around you will shift. The more you transcend your current reality and focus on your assumptions, the more your outer world will reflect your inner world. You will begin to see changes that seemed impossible at first. New opportunities, new relationships, and new circumstances will begin to show up. The key here is to understand that your external reality is simply a mirror of your internal assumptions. When you change the way you think and feel about wealth, your outer world must change to match. Finally, this is the essence of the law of assumption. As long as you continue to accept the limitations of your current reality, you are reinforcing them. But the moment you choose to assume a new reality, your outer world will begin to bend and reshape itself to reflect the new assumptions you are making. Transcending current reality is not about denying your circumstances. It's about understanding that you have the power to change your circumstances by changing the assumptions you hold. This is if you can stop looking at your present reality as an indicator of your future and start focusing on the assumption that you already possess what you desire, you open the door for your external world to shift. This is where true transformation happens. when you stop being a passive observer of your circumstances and become an active creator of your reality. Ultimately, the process of transcending your current reality is about trusting the power of your assumptions and believing that they will manifest in time. It's about shifting your focus away from the limitations of your present circumstances and putting your energy into the assumption that your desired reality is already here. By doing this consistently, you will create a new reality where wealth is your natural state. And the imagination is the most powerful tool you possess in the process of manifesting wealth. According to the law of assumption, wealth begins in the imagination, and it is through the power of imagination that you create your desired reality. Your imagination is the gateway to your subconscious mind, and it is in the subconscious where the seeds of your desires are planted and nurtured. In order to manifest wealth, you must learn to use your imagination not as a passive daydreaming tool, but as an active force that shapes your world. The first step in utilizing imagination is to vividly picture your desired reality. Imagine yourself already living in the circumstances you wish to manifest. If you desire wealth, see yourself surrounded by abundance. Imagine yourself living in a luxurious home, driving your dream car, or traveling to places you've always dreamed of visiting. Visualize every detail as clearly as possible: what the room looks like, what you're wearing, the emotions you're feeling, and the conversations you're having. The more vivid and real the image feels in your mind, the more powerful the impact on your subconscious. The key to successful visualization is not simply to see these things with your mind's eye, but to fully engage your emotions in the process. Feel the excitement, the joy, the gratitude, and the peace that come with being wealthy. Imagine the sense of freedom, the security, and the satisfaction of knowing that you are financially independent. These emotional experiences are just as important as the mental images you create, for it is the combination of mental and emotional energy that sends a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is constantly at work to manifest whatever you impress upon it, and when you immerse yourself in the emotions of your desired state, your mind begins to believe that it is true. By using your imagination in this way, you begin to create an emotional and mental state of wealth. As you continue to imagine yourself as a wealthy person, your subconscious mind will start to accept this as your new reality. So this is the essence of the law of assumption. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and imagining yourself in the desired state, you are impressing these thoughts and emotions into your subconscious, where they begin to manifest as your outer reality. Imagination is not just about creating an image of wealth, but also about transforming your current beliefs and assumptions about money and success. And if you have been conditioned to believe that wealth is difficult to achieve or that money is scarce, your imagination will help you break free from those limiting beliefs. By visualizing yourself as a wealthy person, you're teaching your subconscious that wealth is possible and natural for you. You are rewiring your mind to accept prosperity as your birthright. To fully harness the power of imagination, it is important to practice this exercise regularly. You must consistently create vivid, emotionally charged images of wealth in your mind, even when the external world seems to suggest otherwise. Your imagination should become a daily practice, just as important as any other habit. The more you practice, the stronger your mental and emotional connection to your desires will become, and the quicker the universe will begin to align with your assumed reality. An essential aspect of imagination is its ability to bypass the limitations of the physical world. The present reality, with all of its constraints and limitations, can often make it feel as though wealth is out of reach. However, your imagination knows no bounds. It is not limited by time, space, or circumstance. You can imagine yourself as rich, successful, and abundant at any moment. This is why imagination is such a potent tool. It allows you to break free from the constraints of the physical world and align with the limitless potential of your mind. The more you practice visualizing wealth and living in the feeling of your desired reality, the more natural it will feel. Soon the imagined wealth will feel as though it is already part of your reality. The subconscious does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It takes the images and emotions you impress upon it and begins to bring them into physical manifestation. Imagination also works in harmony with the other laws of the universe. As you use it to create a mental and emotional state of wealth, you begin to align yourself with the frequency of abundance. The law of attraction, which states that like attracts like, comes into play here. As you imagine yourself as wealthy, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of wealth, and the universe responds by bringing opportunities, people, and circumstances that match that vibration. Ultimately, imagination is the creative force behind all manifestation. It is through the power of imagination that you tap into the limitless potential of your mind and begin to shape the reality you desire. By vividly picturing yourself as wealthy, emotionally engaging with that image, and allowing your subconscious to accept it as truth, the more you practice and believe in the power of your imagination, the quicker your desires will come to fruition. Your imagination is the starting point of all creation, and it is through the consistent use of this powerful tool that you will manifest the wealth you seek. Faith in the unseen is the foundation of the law of assumption, and it plays a critical role in manifesting wealth. In the process of manifesting any desire, including financial abundance, true faith is required, not faith based on external evidence, but faith grounded in the certainty that what you desire is already yours, even if you cannot see it with your physical eyes. This kind of faith transcends the limits of the physical world and operates in the realm of the unseen, where everything begins and where true manifestation takes place. The essence of faith in the unseen lies in your ability to trust that the law of assumption is always working, even when the physical world appears to show no evidence of your desires coming to fruition. It means to believe deep within your being that what you are assuming is already a reality, and to feel the emotions of that reality as if it already happened. If you want to manifest wealth, you must trust that it is already on its way to you, even when the outer world is not showing signs of it. True faith in this context is not based on external circumstances. Most people tend to believe in their desires only when they can see tangible proof that they are on the way. But this is not how manifestation works. Faith in the unseen means that you do not need to wait for the physical world to confirm your desires before you believe them to be true. You trust in the process and know with absolute certainty that what you have assumed in your mind is already in the works. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and believe in the unseen, your inner state shifts. Instead of waiting for things to change in the external world, you begin to live as though the desired reality is already here. For example, if you desire to be wealthy, you do not wait for your bank balance to change before you start acting, thinking, and feeling like someone who is already rich. Instead, you begin to think, speak, and live in alignment with the assumption that wealth is already yours. You allow yourself to feel the security, peace, and joy that come with abundance. The power of this faith lies in its ability to create an energetic shift within you. When you believe that what you desire is already yours, you begin to act from a place of confidence and certainty. This changes the energy you emit and alters your vibration. You no longer come from a place of lack or need, but from a place of abundance and fulfillment. As a result, your thoughts, decisions, and actions become aligned with the reality of having what you desire, and this alignment begins to draw the circumstances, opportunities, and people you need to you. When you have faith in the unseen, you understand that your outer reality is simply a reflection of your inner state. The faith in the unseen allows you to transcend the limitations of your current circumstances and live from the assumption that your desires are already a reality. As you consistently hold the belief that your financial abundance is already here, your outer world will begin to reflect that belief. The more unwavering your faith, the more quickly your circumstances will change. It is important to note that faith in the unseen does not mean ignoring the physical world or pretending it doesn't exist. Rather, it is about not being influenced by what you see in the present moment. If you were to look at your current financial situation and allow it to determine your future, you would be limiting yourself to the present state of things. However, faith in the unseen allows you to see beyond what is currently visible. It enables you to live as though your desires are already fulfilled, trusting that the universe will rearrange itself to bring your assumptions into reality. This faith is built upon the knowledge that the law of assumption is always working, regardless of the physical evidence. The process may take time to show results, but when you consistently live in the assumption of your desires, the universe begins to work behind the scenes. The more you maintain faith in what you cannot yet see, the power of faith in the unseen is in knowing that it is already done, and that the outer world must eventually reflect the inner state of certainty and belief you hold. Faith in the unseen also requires a certain level of detachment from the need for immediate results. When you begin to live in the assumption of wealth, you may not see an instant transformation. However, the true test of your faith is in trusting that the unseen forces are at work, even when external evidence is lacking. This unwavering faith is what eventually brings your desires into physical form. The moment you let go of doubt and trust completely in the unseen, your world will begin to respond. The law of assumption is a powerful force, and when coupled with faith in the unseen, it is unstoppable. Ultimately, faith in the unseen is about knowing that you are the creator of your reality. It means trusting in the invisible forces that work in your favor, even when you cannot see them. When you live in the assumption that your wealth is already here, you activate the power of faith, which accelerates the manifestation process. It is this faith that allows you to remain steadfast in your belief, knowing that the universe is already working to bring your desires into reality. Your self-concept plays a pivotal role in the process of manifesting wealth through the law of assumption. The way you perceive yourself, your identity, your worthiness, and your potential shapes the reality you experience. In fact, the way you see yourself is the key to unlocking the abundance you seek. When you want to manifest wealth, it's essential to view yourself as a person who is already wealthy, because your self-concept will influence your thoughts, decisions, and actions. The law of assumption teaches that if you assume the feeling of being a wealthy person, and if you align your self-concept with that assumption, the outer world will have no choice but to reflect that identity back to you. To begin, your self-concept is the mental image you hold of yourself, the story you tell yourself about who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money or believes that wealth is only for a select few, this belief will be reinforced by your thoughts and actions. But when you consciously choose to see yourself as a person who is worthy of wealth, your entire approach to life begins to shift. You stop seeing money as something outside of your reach and start recognizing that wealth is already yours by virtue of your identity. The key to transforming your self-concept is to assume that you are already the person you want to be. This means you must stop identifying with the old version of yourself, the one that struggled with money, and begin identifying with the new version of yourself that is already abundant. You do this by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And as you assume this new identity, your thoughts and beliefs begin to shift in alignment with it. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who is working hard just to make ends meet and start thinking of yourself as someone who effortlessly attracts wealth and success. This shift in self-concept is not just a mental exercise. It's a transformation of your entire being. You begin to make decisions that align with your new identity. If you previously hesitated to make investments or take risks because of fear of losing money, you begin to approach opportunities with confidence, knowing that wealth is your natural state. You start seeking opportunities that match your new identity and will begin to take actions that reflect your belief in your abundance. This new self-concept will guide you to take bold, empowered steps toward your financial goals. Moreover, your self-concept influences how others perceive you. People are drawn to those who carry a sense of confidence, abundance, and self-worth. When you align your self-concept with wealth, you project an energy that attracts like-minded individuals and opportunities. The law of assumption works both internally and externally. Your belief in your worthiness of wealth attracts the circumstances and people that reflect this belief. As you embrace your new identity as a wealthy person, you will begin to notice that doors open to you, new opportunities arise, and your life begins to mirror the abundance you have assumed. It's also important to recognize that your self-concept is not static. It's something you can consciously change at any time. The more you focus on assuming the identity of someone who is wealthy, the more it will become ingrained in your subconscious. This is where repetition comes into play. By consistently visualizing yourself as already wealthy, by constantly affirming your abundance, and by acting in alignment with your new self-concept, you reprogram your subconscious mind to accept wealth as your natural state. The more you repeat these practices, the more your belief in your new identity strengthens,